Okay, tonight we're going to talk about factoring by grouping. So this is when they're written a different way than perfect cubes, sum and difference of perfect cubes. So go ahead and get the date, the title, the page number, the learning target down, and if you need to, you can pause it. So factoring by grouping is used when there are 4 terms. So when there are 4 terms, and in order to do it, you're going to separate the polynomial into 2 sets. So there should be 2 sets, 2 different groups. This is after you've written it in standard form. So remember, standard form means that the exponents are getting smaller. So it's gone from cubed to squared to linear to constant. So the exponents are getting smaller as you go. And this one's already written like that. So when I separate it into my 2 groups, I'm going to separate it here. This is part 1, and this one's part 2. And what I'm going to look for in each part is a GCF. So I'm going to look for a GCF here. The biggest thing I can take out of both of them is just a 1x squared. So when I take my GCF out, I'm left with an x to the first minus 2, because those go to 1. And then in my second group, I'm going to take the sign with this. And so my GCF here is actually a negative 9. So I'm going to take a negative 9 out of both of them. And I'm left with positive 1x again, minus 2, because 18 divided by negative 9 is negative 2. So from here, what you're going to do is you're going to take this term, and that's one of your factored answers, and then you're going to bring these 2 down to make your other factor, x squared minus 9. Now what you have to check at this point is to see, can you factor that further? So I can't factor this because it doesn't have an exponent on it. So my final answer is going to end up with an x minus 2 in it. Minus 2. And if I can, I'm going to factor the other one further. So I'm going to check. It's missing the b term, so I'm going to put a 0x in the middle. So I need to try to find what multiplies to give me negative 9 and adds to give me 0, and that would be positive 3 and negative 3. So actually, this one becomes x plus 3, x minus 3, which again, remember, factoring just breaks it down to make it easier to solve later. So those are all the factors. This is this broken completely down by grouping. So this won't always factor. You just have to check and see if it does factor.